everyone. Here we are.
Hello. Welcome to another week of delving into the wild beyond the Witchlight with a couple of crazy characters here that have just spent the last, what's it been, like almost a month and a half or so just in the carnival. And now things are changing. About to hit some interesting things. Let's introduce who we got here real quick. Ashton, who are you? Who are you playing?
So, I am Ashton Max Sailor, and I am playing Thorn. Thorn is a somewhat shy, large Goliath young man. He's a little slower than normal people, but he's not stupid. He just takes his time to think through things. And he recently had a big confidence boost when his storytelling actually was instrumental in earning him the crown of the Witchlight, the monarch of the Witchlight Carnival. And so we finally hit level 2, and I decided this awoke something inside him, and I multi-classed into Bard. So he's still a little more shy than like your average bard, but I think he's got that confidence boost that has helped him embrace this tendency he does have towards, the love of the arts and of music and storytelling. I think it's a really fun direction to take this character. So I don't know if we're going to stick with bard. I'm probably still going to be mostly fighter most of the way down, but
I think this might be one of the best justified multi-classes that I've seen, like someone take, like having an event that shapes like where their character goes. Yeah. And just like sort of the magic of the carnival as well, like, and maybe something else seeping into Thorn. Thorn's going to have some abilities that he didn't have before, some magical abilities.
Very true. That's going to be interesting.
Chad, let's go for you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chad Yorish, and I am playing Samarand Ludd, half-elf thief. Today he's just a scoundrel, but one day he hopes to make full scallywag. Yeah, that's all I got.
One more level, and you get to take your scallywag archetype or something. Or,
oh yeah.
Who knows? Mm-hmm. Right now, you just took your cunning dasher class.
Well, I mean, so in the last episode, he pulled off the greatest heist of all time, which just reinforced his feelings about being on the path that he's on. Yeah, he's keeping true to this path for now.
You definitely earned that level 2 in Rogue with sort of pulling off that heist pretty much on your own. Backup nowhere to be seen. That was a nail biter.
Still amazing.
It was
still
a nail
amazing.
Biter.
I'm glad we have that recorded and that other people got to see that live. That was
yes. The indecision, like, do I do it? It's totally. I've never seen somebody so afraid to roll a d20 in my life.
And I wish, like, I had dice cam on because I was. Oh God, those were amazing rolls.
Yes, you had a ton of them. Everybody else. That was the game of karma. Everybody else's terrible rolls were going right to you in that last game.
I'll take it.
Yep. Bye now.
All right, Callie, what about you? What do we got?
I'm Callie Max Sailor, and I play Tiana. She's a gnome barbarian and sister to Samarand and to Thorn. And she's considers herself to, kind of be in charge. Is she? Who knows? But that's what she believes. And she is very good at crafting and making things on the fly, and has a little bit of a temper, especially when people are rude.
Well, maybe we'll get to some to get more uses of that temper coming up. I know that it's like Tana's been like this simmering kettle throughout the entire carnival because it's sort of like the no violence zone. And,
she did yell at a mirror and told a very haunted child what's so at. But
Yes, you definitely intimidated that mirror, and that child had it coming.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Brandon Jenkins, and I play Sylphira Eventide, Twilight Cleric of Selûne. And she's starting to kind of reach the brink of frustration, and Selûne's cyclical nature is starting to show up, and I think that she is ready to dive into the Feywild head first and bring that power with her. And through level 2, I can now channel her abilities into a sphere of twilight around me that can benefit my party members. So I'll be able to protect us just a little bit better as we creep into the unknown chaos that is the realm of the Fey.
All right. For a second there, I thought you were saying that you're going to cross-class into Barbarian and be like, let that temper out.
We're all just going to switch one to the left.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody just pass your character to the left real quick and take a class.
Slide to the left. That was to the right. Never mind. Yeah, like certainly couldn't cross-class into Barbarian. I have a 10 in strength, so I would be the softest Barbarian.
Every little bit helps sometimes.
I can punch people and then heal them.
Punching. Oh, unless you're like a monk in this game, punching is the worst thing you can do, I think. Oh, so little damage.
That's going to be a lot of my strategy is unarmed fighting.
But you took some sort of unarmed fighting thing, didn't you?
Tavern Brawler, which I normally would look at. I looked at Tavern Brawler and I thought, my God, that is a cool and useless feat. As useless as it is cool, and it is very cool. But I found a way to make it work.
Doesn't it give you some sort of like doesn't it up your unarmed damage a little bit or something though?
It gives you proficiency.
No, it doesn't help, bro. I'm not totally terrible at this.
It has a couple other benefits too, which are kind of
nice. Well, Thorn doesn't necessarily. I mean, when we say brawler for Thorn, you and I talked about this. We'll see what happens when a fight actually occurs and Thorn needs to jump into it. We'll see what everybody does. You haven't had a real fight yet.
Very interesting.
You're all basically like in elementary school, just sort of like, threatening like the bully, but you haven't actually. Nobody's really thrown a punch or gotten into it yet.
Yeah, we're 2 months
we've got nothing to throw punches at.
There's plenty of things to throw punches at, but you're in school and you're going to get expelled if you do it.
I just love that we're 2 months in and we haven't had a combat yet. Are we even playing D&D?
You are. You're playing D&D. You're playing the best sort of D&D.
Yeah. All we've rolled is 20s. We haven't rolled any other dice. Well, maybe percentile, but...
Yeah.
I think you mean D20s, because I'm pretty sure we've rolled some numbers that weren't 20.
Yes, that is probably more accurate. You've rolled a lot of D20s.
Speak for yourself, Chad. You got all the 20s last session.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm fine with that. I can carry on like that.
All right, now you're cursing yourself for today.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Karma is coming for you. All right, so those are the players. My name is Rob Hearn. I am the DM of this group and running the Wild Beyond the Witchlight for them. And today we're going to... they're somewhat done with the carnival, and now they're making a trip back to town to say their goodbyes to their adopted mother before they return in the evening to step through this mirror into the Feywild, into the place that they believe all their lost things have gone, and their loved ones as well. But before they left, there was one more they had to say goodbye to, and that was Morgana back in town. So we begin this game today with the group returning to Glen Hollow in the early morning light of, the sunrise is just not quite above like the mountains, and the light is just starting to fill the village, and there's like still the mists of the morning concealing half of this place. You waited until almost the last moment to leave the carnival, so a lot of the people that were leaving at the same time have already gone back to their homes or to camps or wherever they were, staying while the carnival's in town. And you make your way, as you make your way through Glen Hollow, the Tarangith Manor, which is where all of you, call home, is on the far side of town, up on this hill that overlooks like the town square, right on the other side of a small river. And you have to wind your way through town to get there, crossing this small bridge, winding your way through smaller homes on the far side, till you get to this sort of rise where the manor stands. By the time you get there, the town has gone quiet. Everyone that was at the carnival the night before has made their way home, probably, passed out into their beds at this point. So everything is quiet and still as you walk through the mists, back through the open gates of the manor and to the front door. When you reach it, how do you? What's the return like for this group? I mean, Sam has not been here in 8 years. Sam has not seen Morgana in 8 years. What's going through Sam's mind?
Sam is getting more and more nervous as sort of the weight of this moment actually manages to break itself into his mind. And he's not just in the excitement of the moment, like he's had time to ponder this. And as he's getting through the town, he's like remembering places, just buildings and things he, did with his friends over by that tree, or games they played running through these streets. So it's more and more weighing down on him, and he's actually becoming afraid, not knowing if he will be able to leave again.
Do you think this is showing on Sam at all, or is Sam in pretty good control of like the outward expression of his emotions?
He gets quiet.
There is when Sam was last here, Sylphira was not officially living at the manor. And I don't know, has Sylphira mentioned that to Sam, that Sylphira is living in his old room?
Oh, right.
I don't think that you've mentioned that Sylphira has like moved in here.
I hadn't. No. Excuse me. Sam, before we go in, I moved in while you were away, into your room. It's still neat and tidy. I mean, it is me after all, but...
You neat and tidy it? Oh, my God.
Right. I forgot that you love a mess. Feel free, take it tonight. It's your room. You should have it.
No, that's fine.
I insist. I can stay at the chapel.
I
actually should take care of some things there, come to think of it.
I don't want to... If none of my stuff is in there, then there's no reason for me to be in there. Trust me. I'm not sleeping in there whether you are or not.
I didn't take any of your stuff out of your room. Still there. Just has some of my things in it as well.
I'm good.
Okay.
Right. This group approaches the front door of Tarangith Manor. You come to it. You open it. Are you being quiet? This is like the crack of dawn. What is your plan to meet Morgana? She's not normally up this early.
Should we maybe get some rest and then talk to her when we're all fully awake?
I feel like that would be for the best.
Yeah.
We have been out all night.
Yeah, you have all been up all night. So is the plan then to sort of just not sort of announce yourselves, not seek her out, but to maybe find your rooms and deal with this Sam thing later?
Yeah.
Let's just put Sam to bed on the couch so she sees him when she gets up.
Well, that's a good way for her to have a heart attack.
Yeah, that sounds like a surprise that, well, I don't know, might be good. No, it should be more official.
Oh, all right.
You're having this conversation as you're sort of slipping in the front door. Things are quiet here. You find yourselves in the foyer. discussing what you're going to do. Sam hasn't chosen a spot, to get rest. But you notice that there's a light on, sort of the flickering of candlelight, in sort of the main room, in the living room of the manor. And as you're stepping into the foyer, you hear a voice call. Hello? Hello? Who's there? And you recognize it as Morgana. She sounds strange, though, like nervous, perhaps a little afraid.
Eyes go first.
Yeah, I'll start heading that direction.
Yeah.
Mom?
You pass through the foyer into this side room, and this is like the largest room in the house. It's got a fireplace against the far wall. There's a few paintings in this room as well, a lot of nice furniture. When you step into this room, you see just standing from a chair near the fireplace is Morgana, and she looks like she's trembling. And you also see standing near the fireplace itself is a man, sort of backlit by a little bit of fire that's glowing in the hearth. You don't immediately recognize him. It's kind of dark in this room, with the exception of the light coming from this dying fire. But when he speaks, you recognize his voice. Welcome home, children. It's been a while. Years for some of you. You recognize it as the voice of Relic, the bard that you met 8 years ago that helped you acquire tickets to the carnival when you were children. You sought him out before you went to the carnival this time, but you couldn't find him anywhere in town, and no one seemed to have seen him.
But he doesn't look like Relic?
You can't quite see him. He's standing backlit by this fire, and like the room is dark with the exception of that light. All you can see is sort of like this sort of gleam, this reflective gleam off of his eyes. And it's something strange about it. It's sinister.
So is the light's pretty dim in here?
Yes, with the exception of the light coming from the fire, which is behind him, so that's why you're kind of seeing this silhouette.
I'm immediately on my guard a little bit. Not actually taking any obvious action, but just like ready and alert in a way I wasn't before.
So it's been a while, Relic. I tried to track you down in town before, but no leads.
Oh, I've been traveling for some time. But I'm not the only one. Sam, I see you've returned. Very curious to see you here. So it's true then, the carnival took you for a while. You can still see your wings.
Yeah, it did. Hi, Mom.
Morgana is just kind of standing at this chair, like her eyes kind of darting between Relic and your group. And she looks very, very pale. And like I said, she's kind of trembling, and she has this look of sort of fear in her eyes. And she doesn't seem to know what to say.
I'm going to step forward and pull a small stone, like from a pouch, and I'll cast light on it. And I'll hold out my hand in a non-threatening way and just look Relic in the face and say, "Why are you here in our home? Explain yourself. Now."
When you light this stone, the pale light kind of illuminates him from below, and you can see his face. He's got these lines, from age, and he looks the same as he did 8 years ago. In his maybe mid-50s, bits of graying hair at the sides, still very handsome, and he's got a bit of a smile. And for a moment, this sort of reflection from your pale kind of, holy light that you've cast, the reflection in his eyes is off. It's not like the right color. It's not the same color that you get reflected from the stone in your hand. There's almost like it's almost like you're seeing the gleam of like firelight or candles in his eyes. And he says, "I've come back to see my child." He looks at Morgana. And, although you're not mine by blood, I suppose you would be my grandchildren.
You're right. We're not your blood.
No, but you are bound to me, as you are bound to Morgana. Especially you, Sam. You owe me a favor.
I thought we paid that debt.
No, I don't think that you did.
You mean the favor for getting tickets? Back when we were children?
Oh, no, there was another thing. There was another thing after that.
I see. I give Sam a look.
I don't remember.
One day you will. I'll remind you.
Are you the one they call the Caller?
That is a name that is used for me, yes.
Why'd you give us bad tickets 8 years ago?
I was preparing you. Preparing you for today and for days to come.
Could you be more cryptic?
I could. I could have said nothing.
Well, I don't think you've said anything for 8 years.
Oh, nothing to you. That is true.
I look at my mom.
I've been busy.
I see. I go over and stand next to my mom and just kind of like put my hand on her lower back and just step closer to her. Just get right over there.
When you touch her, she jumps a little bit, like at your touch. Like everything is just sort of making her jumpy.
Yeah.
And she looks down at you, Tana, and she says, you should take your brothers and Saphira and leave this place.
Well, not without you.
I am protecting you. I cannot do it forever. He cannot hurt me. He won't hurt me. But he can hurt you. And he would do it. He would. And of course, she says this loud enough that Relic can hear it. And Relic just kind of stands there at the fire, still sort of illuminated by Saphira's light. And a bit of a smile comes to his face.
I don't think you're welcome here. I'm sorry, grandfather, but we'll have to ask you to leave.
Now.
Or else what?
Or else you're being real rude.
Exactly.
No, I've been rude my whole life.
Do you see your
I've
daughter?
done terrible things.
She is
Oh, I see
terrified
her.
of you. She doesn't
Well,
want you
she
here.
should be. But she's not quite ready yet.
Ready
Only-
for what?
That I can't tell you. But
I'm
you
going
will
to-
know eventually, all of you. You'll understand one day what she fears.
Oh, this guy's game sucks.
I think you're right. I'm going to wave my hand past my holy symbol, say a couple quiet things in Celestial, and I'm going to detect evil and good.
Okay. You detect good in Morgana and some of your friends. Probably all of them, I think. And you definitely detect evil in Relic.
Is it-
evil like you have never sensed before.
So it's neither Fey nor Fiend,
It is...
or Elemental, or Celestial, or Aberration?
Does it tell you which?
What? Oh, does the spell?
Yeah.
It says, for the duration, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located.
You sense both Fey and Fiend in this, in Relic.
Ooh.
And you sense Fey and Fiend in Morgana.
Mm.
And you sense a little bit of Fey in Sam as well as Thorn. And probably in Tana too. I think gnomes have a little bit of Fey, don't they?
A little bit.
I'm 1/16th Fey on my mother's side.
So really, it's
And
only you, Sylphira. You're the only.
no,
Oh no, and
Sylphira
you're half
registers
He's a
as celestial.
celestial.
celestial. There
we're
are
all
no
different
normal
colors.
people.
Love
here.
it.
Yes, you're like a rainbow of detect stuff.
Detect the rainbow.
Is there Fae here? Yes, kind of all over the place. Are there fiends here? Well, there's a couple, yeah. Are there
There
celestials?
not.
Yeah, there's you.
Yeah, there's me. There's me. Oh, hey, look, I glow. Cool.
I wonder if Sylphira has ever cast this spell before.
She has. She's cast it once before when we first saw Sow Pig in the mirror.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that.
Relic says, I have a few tricks of my own. And as he says that, his eyes begin to burn brighter. And I need everybody here to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no.
God.
Damn you.
Damn you. All right.
10?
16.
16. All right.
14.
16.
All right. So what did Sylphira roll again? 16?
16.
All right. Sylphira and Tana, you are the only two. Actually, let me roll 4 or someone else too. Sam and Thorn, this fear kind of washes over you from Relic. There's something about this stare that he's got that just sort of burns like right into your soul, and it gives you the frightened condition for your characters, which is basically you can't move towards the source of your fear. It's not to the point where you're running away in panic, but you now basically is when you're within the presence of him, you have disadvantage like on almost everything. Sylphira and Tana, both of you feel like this sort of wave come off of him, but you manage to steel yourselves against this. You tremble for a moment, but it doesn't overtake you. But you can see that this sort of shaking that is taken over Morgana is now seems to be spreading to Sam and to Thorn.
Can I take an action?
Yeah.
I'm going to use that new ability that I've got, because I can say if I sense the fear off of folks, I'm going to drop the detect evil and good spell, and I'm going to channel divinity to bring up my holy symbol, and I assume everybody's within 30 feet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. From the symbol, my eyes are going to close for a second, open, and they're this dark, like midnight black color, and this sphere of dim light erupts around me. None of you are afraid anymore. And you cannot be charmed or frightened again.
Oh, what's that one called?
Twilight Sanctuary. And it travels with me. So as I walk around, if you stay within those 30 feet, you can neither be charmed nor frightened.
Now, does it make a difference if somebody already is charmed or frightened?
Yes, it ends them instantly.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you do that, Relic, he is taken aback by this, and he looks more closely at Sylphira when you do that, and all of you feel like more emboldened suddenly by this, and he looks a little bit less certain of himself, and then he says to Sylphira, "I know your mother. I know where she is." Maybe I'll go pay her a visit.
Why are you playing these games?
It's at this point that you're saying this like you're about to challenge him, but Morgana, who's been broken free of whatever spell or effect that was, sort of causing her to be inactive and terrified, that was also broken by Sylphira. And when it is, she stands up taller and she raises her hands, and as she does, this ball of fire begins forming between them, and she yells at the group of you to run. Just run!
Okay.
And this ball of fire is just getting bigger and bigger in her hands.
Oh, shoot.
What do you do?
Oh,
I bolt out the door.
yeah, I think I know what that is. So I run.
What about Thorn? What about Sylphira? I give you 4 seconds to decide. 4.
So
3,
this guy made me afraid, and that
2.
triggers.
You're not afraid anymore.
You're not
I know,
going
that
to
triggers
grab
a fight or flight reaction,
Mhm.
and Thorn is much more inclined towards fight than flight. Is there anything I can throw at him?
You can pick up a piece of furniture and throw it if you want, but you're going to be super close when whatever happens with Morgana happens. What about Sylphira?
I'm going to attempt to grab Thorn, by the arm, and yank him to the exit.
All right.
But good luck. Exactly.
Roll an athletics check for Sylphira.
Where's Bigby's hand when you need it?
Should I roll that also?
It's with Bigby. I'm just going to have Sylphira roll first, and see what happens. How bad
It's not going to be hard. I have +0 to athletics. That's a 13. That's not amazing, but it's not single digits.
It's not single digits. You managed to pull Thorn back about 5 feet or so, just because Thorn is not really paying attention. But Thorn, you're reaching for some large piece of furniture to, attack with. And it's at that point that Morgana releases this ball of flame. And as it flies across the room, it explodes in the fireplace and washes out throughout half of this living room. It starts blasting away furniture. The stuff you're holding is burning suddenly in your hands. And the same thing with Sylphira as well. But you hear, as this fire is rushing towards you, Morgana yell out, "No, no!" And she comes running your direction and does something else. You're not sure what it is. But some of the fire diverts around Thorn and Sylphira. But in doing so, she takes the brunt of it. And it just hits her from the side as the room explodes in fire. Both of you roll dexterity saves for me.
Oh, boy.
Got a big old 5.
You did better than me. I got a 3.
Oh, no!
Brutal.
Ouch. All right. Luckily, you guys don't take too much damage. What was the total again? A 5 and a 3?
5 and
Yeah.
a 3.
Great job. All right. I told you those rolls. Sam is outside rolling a natural 20 on initiative right now or something. Tana ran too, right?
I did.
Ran too.
All right. Both of you bone this save, but whatever Morgana did gave you resistance. You both take 14 points of damage from fire, but it would have been a lot worse.
Wow.
Are you?
This is a fine time to ask if we were. I don't know why I adopted Tiana's voice.
Just all get into that right now, shall we? Don't you know? Okay, you're out.
I guess
Oh dear.
This is going to be a fine time to ask: how are we doing leveled health? Are we doing average or are we doing roll?
That's a good question. What did everybody else do? I think Chad, you said level. You did average, right?
So max for level 1, and then
Max
average.
for level 1, and then average, I think, is what I'd prefer to do.
Okay.
Does anybody have an issue with that?
I did average.
All right.
Okay.
Then that's what we're going for.
In that case, I'm down.
Oh,
You're
no.
down. You would have been down otherwise, too, right?
God.
Didn't you say you rolled pretty bad before for your hit points?
Yep, I have 13 health as a level 2 cleric.
All right. So, yeah, Sylphira goes down. It's blasted, back. And,
The spear drops as well.
Your wings that you had on are, sort of smoldering and burning a little bit. Thorn, what does that leave Thorn at?
He's still got 7. Is Morgana
You also
okay?
have... no. Morgana is not okay.
Up? Is she still standing?
So what?
No!
Right now, the fire hasn't even fully extinguished itself. You're kind of covering your eyes and you're patting out flames because Thorn, you don't feel this because it's this heat. So you're roasted and you know that you're hurt, but this you don't feel any of it. So you find yourself standing in the living room with like stuff on fire around you. Sulfira on the ground behind you, like unconscious, like still wisps of flame kind of coming off of her clothes. Morgana, who's standing between you and Relic, has collapsed basically into your arms.
Can I grab Morgana and Sulfira and run?
You can.
And as my bonus action, I'm gonna. Which of them looks more hurt?
They are both unconscious.
Oh my god. Oh, this is a terrible choice.
So you are a big guy. You can carry both.
I'm gonna grab both and run.
Okay.
That is my bonus action. I'm gonna whisper to them, "You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right." And I'm using Healing Word. And
all right.
I think I'm gonna use it on Morgana first.
All right. All right, so you begin dragging them out of the fires of the living room. As you do, you glance over your shoulder and you can hear a chuckling from over near the fireplace. You look back, and just for a moment, you see Relic standing there. His clothes have been burnt, like mostly off of his body, and you see his skin is charred, but beneath his skin there's something else that doesn't quite look like flesh. It's like blackened muscle or something like that. His eyes now are like completely red, and if this hurt him, he's not showing it at all. And the fires, like as you make your way out of this room, roar up around him. The smoke comes pouring out of the house, and you lose sight of him. Outside, Sam and Tana, you've run basically to the front door to get away from this room, and just on your heels, this rush of fire comes like flashing out and then gets sucked back into the dining room. Seems as if most of the damage has been contained to that part of the house, but it was right on your heels for the two of you. A moment later, Thorn comes stumbling out, like his skin burnt, his clothes burnt, but he's dragging both Sulfira and Morgana with him. Morgana is moaning and starting to come to.
Morgana gets 4 hit points.
All right.
And as soon as I can get another turn, I'm going to do the same thing with Sulfira. Sulfira, wake up! Wake up! You're going to be okay. You can take 5 hit points. And that is all of my spell slots.
So
the second I see him like healing Sulfira and Morgana, I'm going to run into the house, grab my swords that I keep in the umbrella rack, and try to run after that guy.
All right, you grab your swords and you begin running towards the living room where this happened.
Tana,
but it's
don't!
Just, the living room is just on fire. Like you can't. Do you want to run into the fire? You can.
No, do I see him though?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
We should have listened to Mom. Come back, Tana.
16.
You don't see him.
All right.
Nor do you hear anything in there anymore except for the roar of flames. And it seems as if the backside of the house, like the roof, like above the fireplace, has just been blown out. You can actually see like sky in that direction.
Oh, all my doilies. They're all burned. All right, out. And I run out.
All right. You recover out on like the front steps of the manor. This fire that Morgana threw burnt so quickly that although it set some fires inside the house, they're already kind of going out. And there's a bit of like mist and rain that's coming down that seems to be putting out the rest of it. Like it happened so suddenly, like this explosion, that nothing was really combusted beyond, like it didn't catch fire. It just sort of blew apart or turned to ash. And Sam, you see Thorn when he's coming out. He's whispering something to Sulfira now, and like Morgana's alive and sort of kind of coming to, but you can see that half of her face has been burnt by this blast that she just took head on. Sulfira seems to be coming around now as well, and you realize that Thorn is doing something. He must be using some sort of magic, because you can see some of the burns on Sulfira and on Morgana recede a bit.
I'm going to put a pin in that one and run over to Morgana and sort of help her up.
when you come to her, like she just doesn't have any strength, and you realize that she's just kind of weeping, like in your arms, and she's just saying, "Is it over? Is it over? Is he gone? Is it over?"
And I'll just hold her as tight as I can. He's gone for now. He's gone for now.
And she just begins like weeping in your arms, just like a child almost. But it also feels like tears of a sort of resignation and also a bit of relief. She's pretty badly hurt in your arms, but that doesn't seem to be the cause of her emotions right now. Like she's hurt physically, but mentally it seems as if like a weight has kind of been lifted from her, even though this is obviously a disaster. What is Sylphira doing? When Sylphira comes around, you find yourself basically out on the front steps, Thorn over you. The last thing you saw was just fire everywhere.
What happened?
You look up at Thorn, and Thorn is just like he's got burns over a lot of his
Thorn
body.
is crying. He's
Where's
just saying, "Stupid of me. I should have listened."
What did you do, Thorn? What did you do?
I stayed and tried to fight when she told me to leave.
No. After that, when you were pulling him outside, you said something to him, and I saw the wounds begin to heal. What did you do?
I just really didn't want them hurt anymore.
You healed him.
Not enough. Look, she's covered in burns. They both are.
You weren't able to do that yesterday.
I guess I'd never done that before.
I think
You healed us?
I got you.
I don't look
hurt
like it to me.
first. Stupid of me.
You were trying to help Mom. It's all right. It's fine. Everybody's okay.
Where is he?
I went back
clumsily
in and
push
I
myself
tried
to my
to
feet.
get him, but nothing.
We gotta get out of here.
Let's go to the chapel. We'll be safe there.
Real quick, Rob, did either of our mothers have any musical instruments?
I would say probably there were some in the house. If they didn't play them, then Morgana's family probably had some at some point.
Would there be...
I have a...
What was that?
What, Brandon?
Or you can use my lyre if you want. I'm no good with it.
Well, I thought it would be neat if there's like... I don't know, if there's one that belongs to one of our mothers. Like maybe Mavra, that I could run back into the house to save before the house is all gone.
The house itself is not burning at this point. I think I tried to say that the fire exploded in that one part of the house, and after it was like over, like it you kind of have to have extended heat for a while for like fire to really catch.
So it didn't really catch. Okay.
No, but it definitely like blew out like the wall in the living room and like ripped off part of the roof.
So I see where you're going with this, Ashton. What if Mavra had a harmonica?
I feel like Tana probably has a harmonica up in her room.
That's true. I like the idea of like this really big guy playing a harmonica.
We all have harmonicas. It's sort of a family thing.
Mavra was a dwarf, so keep that in mind as far as like instruments go. I mean, you can choose a harmonica if you wish, if you want to go there.
Well, dwarves can have harmonicas.
It's like one of those little kid harmonicas that come out of a Happy Meal. Like, for Thorn, it would be like this big.
Well, I haven't decided on a weapon for sure yet, or a instrument. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but could I grab something here?
You can.
Save
you
an
can.
instrument before we leave. All right.
So yeah, well, you're going to have time here. Maybe if not right now. What you do is you take the injured down to the chapel. which is run by Sylphira. There's nobody there today, nobody in the morning. You have the day to sort of recover here. The sun, by the time you get there, the sun is rising now fully above the mountain. The mists are burning away. There's no sign of relic anywhere. As you're entering the chapel, the chapel itself is located on the town square, where that large tree, Great Hazel, stands in the center. And you can see, kind of past the tree up on the hill, just a little bit of smoldering smoke coming from Tarangeth Manor. Like I said, it didn't catch fire. It just sort of blew off part of the roof in one side of the structure. Would you take Morgana into the chapel as well as Sylphira? And you're unbothered there. You have the day to recover here and sort of figure out what to do next. Morgana is just sort of lost in this emotion. You have a feeling that she's probably been up all night. All of you have been too. Exhaustion, at least a level of exhaustion, is starting to settle in on all of you. When you're settling in, Morgana says to all of you, I knew that you would return to the carnival. I knew that I couldn't stop you. He came to me last night. He reveled in it. He hoped that he wants you to go there. But I don't know why. He seems to think that he has power over you somehow. He kept calling you his grandchildren, as if somehow he has possession of you through me. But I don't understand that.
I don't like him. He shouldn't have done that.
There's something very, very twisted about him. People just don't do things like that. They don't just hurt people for fun. And it was more than that. He said that I would lose you, that you would go beyond, and that you would be lost forever.
Well, we were planning on going to Prismere. I don't know how he knew that, but we weren't going to be gone forever. That wasn't our intention at all.
I think that he was lying. I think he was lying to me. I think he wanted me to go after you.
Then you shouldn't go anywhere near where Prismere is. You got to stay here.
Everything about him was so manipulative. Even the things that he said that sounded true, they couldn't have been.
Like what?
Like he said that Sam betrayed me. He said that this was all Sam's fault.
That can't be right.
No, he was lying. He was lying, but he wanted me to believe that. Sam, I would never believe that of you. Never. But I feel like he's going to use these things somehow. He has his power. There was nothing I could do until Sylphira, whatever it was you did that broke that spell. Only then could I act.
That was amazing, Sylphira.
That really was.
It was Soluna's work through me. Through looking through Twilight, one can find peace. And I think that's what she brought. He, whatever he is, I sense both Fey and Fiend on him. He says he's your father. What does that mean?
I think he was telling the truth when he said that.
That's what Kettlestein said, that you guys were trying to track down your father at one point, the caller.
Kettlestein? You found Kettlestein?
Yeah, he was at the carnival tonight. Oh, she was, I mean.
She.
Yeah, she found us.
She used two different voices, which was kind of throwing you off. In the beginning, she was disguised as a man and using a man's voice. But then once she dropped that illusion, she had sort of a female, a voice for a Kenku.
Mm-hmm. Also, she's a bird, so it's kind of hard to tell initially.
There's that too. And then she was using my voice. So, third thing.
Well, anyway, we found her, and she told us a little bit about what you and your friends were up to and what Sulfura's father was interested in, and we were just trying to fill in the pieces.
The horses on the carousel, they were quite the gossips. And I almost won the Witchlight Monarch, but Thorn got it. You would have been really proud of him.
It's unbelievable.
I stole a pocket watch from Mr. Witch. That was pretty good. I won the snail race. We started a big game of tag. It was a really great night. You should have been there.
Yeah.
So as serious as things are, when you begin telling, regaling her of the stories of what you did at the carnival, she can't help but sort of smile. And it seems as if that smile is coming because, not just because the stories are a bit ridiculous and this whole, sort of situation, like she's, pretty badly hurt. Sulfura's hurt, but Sam is, of course, telling these strange stories of the carnival. Sam has also been gone for 8 years, and she seems to be just finding joy in listening to Sam tell, something positive for the night. And she even laughs a little bit at some of these stories. And she says, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you need to go there. Maybe that's what all this is about. I don't think that he knew that you were returning this morning. I think he believed that you would leave, that you would go to the Feywild, that you would take the passage there. And I think he wanted me to try to follow you.
As you say that, it occurs to me that Mr. Witch and Mr. Light were trying to convince us to go in without coming back to say goodbye.
That is true.
They did tell us not to tell you.
Yeah.
That's right, that you would be in danger.
Well, they said it was because she would try to follow us in, and we didn't want her to follow us in. Which is true, obviously.
But she can make that choice herself.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you that they didn't want her to go. They told you they didn't want you to tell anyone else how the mirror works.
Yeah. They did kind of say, if we told Mom, she might want to come after us, which is true, right, Mom?
I thought about it many times this night. As I spoke, or as I should say, he spoke to me. I cannot say what I would have done this morning or tonight.
Well, can you come? We can all go as a family.
No, I actually think that's a bad idea.
Oh.
Because
His whole face falls.
Kettlestein told us that you and she and your other friends that were friends like us at the time, you couldn't go back in because of...
Then that Kettlestein misspoke a bit. That's not entirely true. Kettlestein and I should say that long ago, when I was beginning my search for my father, I came across the name Zybilna and learned of the Feywild and Prismere, and I made a pact with her. And after making this pact, that's where my powers came from. That's where the fire came from tonight. I don't use it often because it can be dangerous and unpredictable. Kettlestein had been... she had made a pact before I had, and I met her because of the pact. We were kindred spirits in a way. But part of our pact, Zybilna, in forging these pacts with us, made us promise that we wouldn't come to Prismere, that we wouldn't come to her realm. I don't know why, but that was part of the deal. We could have access to her power, but only if we stayed here.
Right. So, you stay put, rebuild a house. We're going to go get other mom, and then we'll be back in a jiff.
And she just slowly nods after thinking about it for a moment. She says, maybe that's all that can be done. And I think, and I pray that if you go there, you'll be beyond his reach.
What does he want?
I think that he wants to corrupt the good. He pushes. He wants, it's like he wants people to make mistakes and then compound those mistakes by trying to fix them. Making poor decisions, turning on your friends. I don't know. He said so many things last night. So many things.
Thorn sniffles a little bit and says, I would have been glad to meet a grandfather. We could have had him come for a meal and had pie and everything.
Things don't always work out the way that we want them to work out.
Yeah, and I'm not having that guy over for the fall festival dinner.
Oh, no way. Well, it's his loss.
Very much so.
It really is, yeah.
You see Morgana, like, as you're kind of talking about this, and you're making light a little bit of, like, who this guy is and, disinviting him to parties in the future and whatnot. She gives kind of a little bit of a smile at that thought, of disinviting the caller from Christmas. And she says, at least we can all still smile a bit. At least he hasn't taken that from us. I'm so tired, though. I just need to rest.
Oh, yeah, I'm tired, too.
Thorn, when you stretch, like, some of the clothes that are, like, burnt on you kind of just, like, crack and, like, ashes fall from you.
I literally don't even notice.
Some of it is probably your skin.
Oh, God.
The only one that wasn't healed. By the way, does Sylphira have any healing powers, or did you use up everything already?
I do, but I am out of slots.
Sounds like rest.
I could cast mending and make your clothes better.
I don't think mending can fix what happened to you guys.
No.
It's a good thing that Thorn was wearing mostly armor. I think Thorn was wearing armor, right? Like under his clothes. Yeah,
under the clothes.
So like with those clothes, like half of them burned away. Now you can see Thorn is just he looks more like a warrior in a way. Like the clothes that were concealing this chain shirt has like kind of fallen away, and now it's just like this steel that's kind of showing through.
That's a neat image.
Yeah, Thorn looks like he's been to war and back. Saphira just looks like she got blown up in a fireball.
Covered in soot, like half my hair is burnt. Like
you don't have it nearly as bad as Morgana. Morgana's going to have some scars from this because she all of her protection that she could use, she gave to the two of you. Anything else, or are you all getting rest? And are you setting any sort of watch or anything?
Yeah, I don't think Tana would go to sleep right away. She'd probably be on alert and want to take first watch so the injured people could sleep.
All right. What about Sam?
Realized I have advantage on saving throws against being charmed. I don't know if being feared would be the same.
No, it's a separate thing.
Well, and so also, like, Sam joined the party when it was evening time, which means he'd been traveling all day with the carnival. I don't know if he slept during that time and showed up rested, knowing that he was going to be up all night doing carnival things.
You've been a night owl. So, Sam, your normal hours are night. You're probably not as exhausted as everybody else. You probably woke up maybe like 2 or 3 hours before you arrived back in Glen Hollow.
So
Traveling with the carnival is magical. They travel through dimensions and realms, so it's not like they weren't on the road like all day yesterday. They packed up in the afternoon and the evening, and then through the magic of the Witchlight vein and the Mr. Witch's watch, they basically portaled to Glen Hollow.
okay. So then I would propose to take first watch, let everybody get their heads down, and then eventually I will also get some rest.
All right.
Before I tuck off,
yeah.
I'm going to touch Sam on your shoulder and say, Soluna grants you some alacrity. I'm going to sleep now. And I'm going to give you Vigilant Blessing, which, until forever, you have advantage on the next initiative roll.
Ooh.
Okay. That you take. So until you use it, or until I use it on somebody else, that's just a thing that you have.
So if you put that on somebody else, it goes away from Sam, right? You can only have one up at a time.
As soon as I move it to somebody else, it goes away. Or as soon as he uses it, I can then.
Is that a second level ability that you just picked up, or is that
Nope. It's a first level Twilight Cleric ability.
You could have done that 2 months ago when we started this game.
Oh, for all the initiative rolls that we've made. Right?
Even if you had, you would have forgotten about it, but that would have been pretty funny.
Yeah.
2 months
just
later,
like I forgot
I'm using
about having
alacrity.
fun.
What the hell was that? That's that spell we cast 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Just been hanging out.
I homebrewed it without telling you.
Same time we cast Mage Armor.
I did want to talk to Morgana just once more before we go to bed, just as things are winding down. Just get a moment with her.
She is pretty out. Like, you can talk to her, but she is.
Oh, then I'll
she's
do it
drifting
in the morning.
off.
Never mind.
Well, this is the morning. You mean the evening?
When we wake up.
When you wake up. Yeah, the carnival morning, which is like 6 p.m.
Thorn is a simple creature. Morning is when I wake up. Period.
All right. You rest for the day, recover spells, recover hit points as appropriate. I think if you haven't already done so, roll your short rest stuff. I don't like you doing like the fully healed after the long rest unless you have like a lot of spells to burn. You guys were like, you were tapping everything out in the morning. So with a long rest, if you haven't used your recovery hit dice, go ahead and use those for that would be just Sulfur and Thorn to recover some hit points.
Oh, so wait, are we not doing hit points, like full hit points recover on a long rest?
No, I like the idea that you need to heal them. Not that it's just ping, we're back to full after a long rest. I like doing a little bit old school.
So then how do you get back the hit dice that you use to heal?
With a long rest, I'm giving you the extra 2. So normally with a short rest, you can use up to your hit dice to recover, right? I'm giving you sort of a second set on a long rest. And if you have spells, you can use those as well to heal yourselves.
Okay.
I just think it's weird if you get knocked down to like 1 hit point and you're like, long rest, and then 8 hours later you're right as rain. Just seems a little weird.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's fine in a we can do homebrew here a little bit. That's my homebrew rule.
I like it.
Yep, sounds good.
Realistic.
Sounds valid.
It also makes you guys think a little bit more when you're going forward. You're like, we'll do a long rest. We're all good now. Rather than long rest, what do we actually have to do to heal ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to have left?
It also makes you, like, people's decisions have a little more weight. Like, am I going to have a permanent scar from this encounter?
Exactly. So Thorn and Sylphira, you guys, this is the first time both of you have taken like any real damage. If you want to have some sort of lasting effect from this, you can, but it's unnecessary. Morgana, I'm giving 1 too because she just took the full blast and protected the 2 of you. Thorn, for instance, is always burned. He's got burns everywhere already, so this probably wouldn't at all that much.
Maybe a little
Burns upon
lingering
burns.
scar, like maybe a bit on the ear.
Mhm. All right, so we will pick back up after a long day resting at the chapel. The evening is coming, and you know that the carnival is going to be reopening in another couple hours. Thorn, if you wanted to have that conversation with Morgana, that can happen. That can happen after this. Although maybe we should take. You want to take like a little 5-minute break first, and then we'll come back fresh. If anybody needs to update characters during the rest or whatnot, we can do that, and then you can think more about what you want to say to Morgana and how you're going to move forward from here. I feel like this is another twist in the plot.
Okay.
Is there any word from our sponsors today?
There is, in fact, a word from our sponsor. Are you tired of people in your party constantly going on and on about their chosen deity? Do you long for a none of the above box when filling out the faith section of your character sheet? When somebody casts bless on you, do you feel like they've just invaded your personal space? Well, then, my godless non-believers, it's tried No More Tear anti-deity spray. Just one application of this all-natural, gluten-free, totally non-GMO, anti-establishment aesthetic spray will keep those pesky gods at bay. Gone, gone. Salune, say goodbye, eh? Moradin, more like Lessadin. It even works on lesser deities, demigods, pushy paladins, clingy clerics, and other mindlessly devout. Thanks to No More Tear, I haven't talked to my mother-in-law in years. With No More Tear anti-deity spray, you may still be crying, but it won't be from being touched by an angel. No More Tear. Spray it. Don't pray it. This advertisement was brought to you by Vecnicorp. Vecnicorp is not a subsidiary of Nerultech.
Holy shit!
Oh my god.
I have some thoughts about the Saluna part, though. I gotta say, holy shit, the prop work, though.
Oh, beautiful.
It was amazing, Chad.
Right.
We need to have like a picture of that put up somewhere.
Great.
I can send you the JPEG.
We should do little blurbs of these and post them on the website. I mean, you know, it's what the sponsors would want.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You can't say "oh my god" anymore. You have to get sprayed every time you say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no,
Like
no,
a cat.
Brilliant. All right, folks, we're going to take our 5 minutes. We'll see you shortly. Stick around. All right, welcome back.
Hello,
are
everybody.
live.
Hello. We are back. We were just chatting a little bit behind the scenes about what just happened, and joking a little bit about how all this childhood trauma felt like maybe we left that 8 years ago, and then we just walked right back into it. And here we are now, recovering in the chapel. You still have sort of miles to go in a way. The carnival still awaits. The Feywild is beyond that mirror, but things are still happening in your world. Events are still unfolding. You have now met the caller. You know who he is, or at least who he originally came to you as. Seems like he set you up a long, long time ago.
That guy.
I loved that you also were focusing in the beginning on a bit of a red herring in Bertram Falwell, the noble. I love that that pin is still up. I kind of imagine that as the events are unfolding in the living room downstairs in Terengith Manor, and this fireball just goes off, and then upstairs in Tana's room we see the board, and like the blanket that's hiding it just falls away, and the board is there, and like some of these strings shake, and you see like one of the pins going into Falwell just fall out.
Cool.
I like that too. The bird. I should have known it was the bird.
When you started focusing on Falwell, I was like, oh, interesting. And then you just didn't say anything about the bard. You're like, oh, he's our friend. He helped us. Maybe he didn't. He didn't help you.
Well, that's
Signs were
clear
all
now.
there.
Yeah.
It's clear now.
Hindsight.
Unless that was somebody pretending to be him. Maybe there are layers within this.
Ooh.
God, I don't have enough string.
I need to go buy more string.
Darn it.
All right. So let's come back now. It's the evening is arriving. The sun is setting over Glen Hollow. Those of you who have rested for the day are just getting up. Thorn, I think you said you wanted to speak with Morgana when she is a little bit more lucid.
Yeah, I think Thorn finds a spot a little outside, and he's just kind of pacing, just kicking himself, going, stupid. And then he'll at some point notice Morgana is up and go up to her.
All right. Yeah, you see her. She comes out as you're pacing, and you look up and you find her standing in the doorway. She's still sort of like holding on to the walls for like a little bit of support. She's put on just one of like the robes that Saphira has, like something extra, like one of the saloon sort of ceremonial robes, because what she was wearing was wrecked. She still has like, kind of soot on her. Her hair is still kind of in disarray. And this burn on the side of her face is still very, very, very angry. And you realize you've seen burns like this before. You've burned yourself. You know it's going to leave a mark. It's going to leave a mark for the rest of her life.
I say, Mom, I'm sorry I didn't listen.
It's okay, Thorn. It's okay.
No, it's not.
It's not your fault.
You protect us. If I'd run like you said, you wouldn't have gotten hurt so bad.
You didn't know? How could you have known?
He scared me, and I didn't want to leave you alone with him. But I should have listened to you. You got hurt worse.
I don't think...
It's my fault.
I'm alive, Thorn. I survived. And I think that has something to do with you as well. I felt something when I came to and the fires were around us. I could hear you. It sounded like you were singing or something. You have magics of your own. I've always suspected it, but I didn't know what form they would take.
It's never happened like that before.
I've met those that have such abilities. They're not always learned. Sometimes it takes moments of great emotion for such magic to manifest.
Can I try something?
If you wish.
I want to take her hand and hold it in both of my own and hum back to her one of the lullabies that she used to sing for us when we were little.
Mm-hmm.
And use that magic to cast Healing Word again. See if I can't take some of the edge off these injuries.
You hum to yourself, and you kind of find yourself coming back into that space you were, this moment of peace in the fire that you found the night before. And a little bit of the stiffness kind of goes out of her. And she gives a bit of a sigh. She says, yes, that's it. That's it, Thorn. You conserve those energies. Conserve them. I have a feeling you're going to need these. And I will be fine. I tried to tell you last night, he's not going to harm me. He wants me alive for some reason. And I think I know why. And I don't think he'll get what he wants. Not now. I think he made a mistake last night, and I think that mistake was playing his hand, playing too much of it, revealing himself to you and to me. I think now I understand more than I did before. It's all a game to him. You, the others, he's been behind so many of these things. He wanted to hurt you. He wanted you to react. He wants you to be afraid. That was the bravest thing I've ever seen any of you do, standing up to him like that. I saw that you wanted to fight. Was it foolish? I don't know. But when you need to act, when evil shows itself like this, you cannot always run away.
Thanks. Uh-oh, I think we might have lost... Rob, I think we lost you there for a hot second.
Am I back
That's
now?
the first time that's happened, though.
Yeah.
In many weeks. That's amazing. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yay, connections.
Am I back?
Also, that was really good role playing, and I cried a little bit. Like, I was like, no.
The internet ruined it.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I think you were done anyway by the time
I was pretty much,
stopped.
I think I was pretty much done. So she's trying to give you a pep talk. I mean,
I think it
yes,
helps.
you got hurt. Sophira got hurt. She got hurt. But you're all alive.
Yeah. I don't want to exclude anyone else, so if you guys want to participate, I assume you can overhear this, but I also want to ask her, so Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, they said this guy, the caller, that he's opposed to the carnival. That he wants to twist it.
I think he's using the carnival. I think it's a place ripe for emotion. It's a place that has done good. It has brought joy to people. And I feel like he gains something from taking that joy and turning it to pain, to suffering.
I just don't understand.
I don't either. Whatever motivates a being like that, it's beyond my comprehension. I think it might be beyond all of ours.
Is he really your dad?
Yes, I think that he is.
I'm glad you're
and
not
I don't
like
think
him.
that I'm his only child.
Huh. Well, we've got a trip to take.
You do. You do. I wish you didn't have to take it. I wish that Mavra and Thenif and Kettlestein, I wish that they could have done this in your place. And maybe somewhere out there, Mavra and Thenif still are fighting. Maybe they're still out there somewhere. That's all I can hope for.
I remember she used to play this, and I think I'm going to go with a pan flute. I hold up the pan flute.
All right.
And say...
Yeah, she had that, something small that she could keep in a pouch next to her pipe.
I'll bring it to her. If I can. Don't worry, Mom. We're going to be okay.
And worry is what all mothers do. But I'll think of you, and I'll pray for you. Sam, I have a feeling that Sam may have been like listening in on this. Is Sam nearby, kind of lurking a bit, or what?
Yeah, just lurking, as he usually does. But it's at this point that I will kind of walk over, wrap my arms around Morgana. Hey, I know I've been gone a long time, and I'm sorry. And I'm starting to forget most of it. But I do know that Margaret is still alive. And we're going to go get her and bring her back. Whatever it takes.
Sam. I know you will. I've missed you. You've been gone so long. But
Missed you too.
you learned something when you were gone. I can see it. You've grown.
Yeah, I learned lots of stuff. Can't remember half of it, but some of it stuck.
If some of it's from the Feywild, I have a feeling if you get there, that bits will return.
Yeah, I feel that too. I think I have to go.
I think all of you do. When you go, be very careful with Sylphira. I think there is a connection between her and the caller that I don't quite understand. She said something about Sylphira's mother, as if she knew something, as if he knew something of her. I never met her myself. I only met Thenif after she was gone. There's something to her story, something to the story that Thenif said to me. There's something about it that's mysterious. Something he didn't want to say. I don't know if it had anything to do with the carnival or the Feywild. But I'll tell you this, when he said that she went to the Shadowfell, I don't think that's where she went. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh. Maybe we'll find out too.
Sylphira will come out of the back of the chapel, from like where the back room is. She'll approach Morgana, and you can see that Sylphira has some kind of nasty burns across her face, and she's changed out her gloves, and her chainmail is just over like a regular robe now, and she's kind of pulling what's left of her hair into this, like, finishing up like a braided kind of ponytail type thing, and the sides are kind of scorched back. Thank you, Morgana, for saving us. Can you do me a favor while we are away? And just look after the chapel. Or have someone look after the chapel while I'm gone.
I'll look after it myself.
Thank you.
And Sylphira, you're the one that saved us. I could have done nothing without the blessings given to you. Your goddess is looking over you and all of us. And I think she's looking over your mother too, wherever she is. I don't know for certain, but I feel like her fate is also wrapped up in all of this.
I hope I can find out who and where she is. Maybe my father will know.
I think that he does, but I think that she had secrets, and I think your father kept some of those. I don't know for certain, but something happened 8 years ago. I know that he had traveled with us for a time, and he had said that he was interested in Prismere, in Sibylna, and the Feywild. And perhaps he was, But there was always this lingering feeling that there was something more. I think that he was really looking for your mother. Maybe not so much helping me with the collar. When you find him, I think that you should try to find out what secrets he holds.
I will. Anything to help me remember who she is. And if she's alive, I want to find her.
I hope you do. But remember, you always have us. We are your family now, too. You always have a place to come back to.
I'll hug her. Thank you.
I am going to want my room back eventually, though.
Of course, Sam. Of course. That's why I offered it back to you. It's rightfully yours.
Sophia can sleep on the couch in the living room.
I'll sleep in the moonlight. That's what Saloon would want.
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build you a whole new room off of the ruined living room when we get back.
Oh, it may take a while to get the smoke smell out, but I think with enough incense, and I hold up a leather pouch that smells of incense.
Yep, that's about the right amount.
I figured I'd stock up on some holy things while we go into whatever unknown through that mirror exists.
Fair enough. You know, I actually packed my crafting supplies. And then I take out a bunch of stuff, and it's like, you never know when it's going to come in handy. You know, I got
have like
buttons.
a Tinker's backpack full of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm imagining Tana fighting with crocheting needles now.
I thought a few things as she like drags this backpack out that's like the size of her.
Oh my god.
It's got a sewing kit. It's got glitter for unknown reasons. Blues of all types.
two different types of bedazzlers.
Oh, googly eyes.
Pipe cleaners.
A couple of casserole dishes.
Well, yeah, that's just a given.
Got to take a hot dish into the Feywild.
Oh yeah.
So someone is packed and ready to go. There's obviously like a group hug and tears as Morgana wishes you well, and she seems to be at this point kind of urging you to go. Like she's not fearful so much for herself, but for you. She's worried that the night is falling.
Let's go. I'm so ready for this.
All right, I give her a hug goodbye because I don't want to have a long hug and cry because I don't feel comfortable doing that. But I give her a hug on, and I say, "Mom, we're gonna do it, and I'll keep an eye on these guys and make sure they don't do anything stupid."
She hugs you close, like, and you're sort of like giving this gesture, and it's like you're doing this as you're being like restrained, like she doesn't want to let you go. She says, "Tana, I've known you longer than anyone else here. If things were different, we would be sisters. I don't know if I see you so much as a child anymore. You call me mother, but I think that's what you've become now."
I kind of, blush a little bit and I say, yeah, I feel that way too sometimes. I'm sorry we couldn't grow up at the same rate. But I'm grown up now, and I'm going to do you proud.
I know you will. Take care of the others. It's always sort of been your role. Keep them in line. Especially this one. And she looks at Sam.
He knows.
Oh, he knows.
Oh, I know.
Eventually she lets Tana go, but like the hug for Tana is almost like the longest one. Like she's passing the torch in a way. Like it's on you to protect them. The smallest of the group.
And I'm very obviously trying not to cry. I'm like, all right, Liz, we got business to do.
And she nods and bids you farewell. And steps back into... Oh, what was that? Did Thorn have something too?
My turn to tear up, Callie.
I thought Thorn was going to be like, I want another hug.
Oh, definitely. Definitely one more. Group hug! Group hug!
Everyone is crushed and needs more healing.
All right.
Eventually, you find yourselves walking away from the chapel. Nighttime is coming. The sun is setting. The carnival is about to open again for the second night. You make your way up the road, following the same path that you took the night before and 8 years ago. People again are beginning to join you as you make your way there. When you arrive, the gates have just opened, and you see, standing at that booth right across the bridge, the little lazy river that circles the entire carnival itself, is that same goblin with the little telescope and the ear horn, and he's gone into his same bit, kind of messing with people as they arrive. Do you pay for tickets, or do you just bypass it? What do you do? Sam doesn't need to pay for a ticket. I'm just wondering what everybody else does.
Do I need to pay for a ticket since I was the monarch? Wasn't free entry for life one of the perks?
No, not for the monarch. Actually, I think it was. It is for the Witchlight hand. Let's say it is for the monarch too.
Okay.
There's actually nothing in there that specifically says one way or the other, but I think it makes sense.
I'll buy tickets just because I don't want to have anything interrupt this moment. So I just run ahead. I jump the line. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is very important business, I swear.
Ten is like marching up with like this giant backpack and stuff hanging off it, pushes a couple kids out of the way or whatnot. Then, the two of, I'm assuming that Sulfira buys a ticket as well?
Oh, lawful good. Hell yeah, I buy a ticket.
But she's at the back of the line, so I buy hers.
I will patiently wait behind everyone else, though.
No, we don't have time to wait. I buy your ticket, and I hand it to you as you wait in the back of the line. Come on, let's go.
Okay. You just have to pull me along.
Yeah, you pull along, and of course, Thorn, as you're entering the carnival, the goblin who's at the podium at the front, he stops for a moment and he's like, "Oh, hello, my lord, your highness, your graciousness, welcome back."
Thank you.
And he gives you sort of like the grand entrance. He's just fawning over you the whole time you're walking by. He doesn't actually give you anything or do anything else, but like he makes a big deal of it.
I give him a gracious nod and go in.
All right. You find
Monarch
yourself
here,
back.
everyone. Monarch. Success coming through. Monarch coming through. Thank you.
Big deal.
Is Sam just walking ahead and like clearing the way? All right. You make your way through the carnival again, back over to the thorn hedge, and waiting there. Likely waiting for you is Burley the Bugbear. He passes you through to the staff area and right back to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light's wagon right at the back. Again, that other clown Thaco is sitting on the stairs just grumbling at you as you arrive. Burley knocks on the door and it opens soon enough, and the two strange elves emerge. The sort of stockier one in Mr. Witch, and the strange jester acrobat, Mr. Light. "So you've returned then," Mr. Light says. "I was kind of wondering if you might not return. I was wondering, but here you are."
Yep, we managed it.
Round and
Mr. Witch, still got your
go.
watch?
Mr. Witch kind of puts his hand to his pocket, like absently, and then looks down. He seemed like check it twice. He says, I do, Sam.
Good. Just making sure. Wanted to make sure that nobody else had come in here and pulled the same stunt I did. That would just be copycat behavior.
I believe that we taught you too much while you were here. Learned too many things. Unfortunately, you didn't forget enough of them.
Well, I hope to remember some more in very short order.
We will see. We will see what lies beyond the mirrors, and you will too soon enough. Hopefully you won't regret it.
Well, enough preamble. Shall we go?
They lead you back out of the thorn wall back to the Hall of Illusions. They take you right in the back door, down a few of these passages to that one oval mirror, the one that kind of stands out from the rest. Do you remember what to say?
With the keen mind feat, yes, I know exactly what to say.
Oh, Sam was just about to butcher it. Does Sam want to give it a shot before Sulfira, or does Sulfira just go right into it?
Yeah, no. Let me try this one.
So Sulfira, you're like, and then Sam is
Hither, thither, here and there. Yon, show me where.
Sam, I don't know if a cough was part of the incantation.
Touch the mirror.
It does not activate. You want to give it one more shot? Maybe that cough was just interrupting it a little bit.
No. All right. Yeah. Sorry. You go ahead.
Does Sulfira remember?
As the player, Brandon? Or Sulfira with the feet?
There's a little tip coming to you.
Oh, yeah, brainwaves. I think it was hither, thither, here and there. Wander yonder, show me where.
That's what I said.
I think the cough interrupted it. You could have tried again.
No. You're good. Carry on.
Meanwhile, the mirror has begun to shift in front of Sulfira. And Mr. Witch says, you remembered. The way is open. And Mr. Light kind of steps forward as Sulfira before you get too close to the mirror, and he puts a hand on your shoulder. And he says, be careful over there, young lass. Dangers await you. They say that there are three rules of the Feywild that you must mind. The future, the present, and the past. And one last thing. I may be stretching the rules a bit by telling you. Find the alicorn and free the dormant queen at last.
What's an alicorn?
And Mr. Witch just sort of gives a mysterious smile and steps back and gestures to the mirror.
That's so cryptic.
It's what they do.
Hey, well, everyone, shall we?
All right, now or never.
Thorn sort of nervously says, can you tell us anything about how we get back?
Mr. Witch gives a sigh and he says, that is for you to figure out. There are ways to return, but this is only one way. It goes there.
I have one small thing to ask of you, if it's possible.
You can ask whatever you wish.
That cupcake turned out to be very, very helpful. Is there any way we could have at least one more?
No.
Just in case. Okay.
That cupcake was useful to you, and I suspect it was overly useful. In fact, we're thinking about recalling the cupcakes after this episode.
Sam, you are why we can't have nice things.
Both of them are looking at Sam with that same sort of like...
I follow their gaze and I look at Sam and I go, that is fair. That is fair. Well, I'll hold out my hands.
I take one of your hands. Thorn looks like he needs the comfort.
I'll squeeze your hand extra tight.
Okay.
Here we go. And I will start to step through.
As a group, you step through this mirror one after the other, vanishing through this rippling silver film. Is there something from Sam?
As like I'm gonna like, so Sophia's holding Thorn and Tana's hands, and I'll trail a little bit behind and walking with them. It's like, well, nice carnival you got here. Shame we can't stay longer. We'll send you word from the Feywild and rethink the cupcakes.
Mr. Light smiles at that, but Mr. Witch does not seem amused at all.
Can't imagine why.
You see, as you vanish, does Sam go through the mirror?
Yeah.
As you're vanishing, you see him kind of reflexively kind of reaching for that pocket where he keeps the watch one last time.
It's like death grip on his watch.
Exactly. He's going to like tie it to like his finger or something from now on.
If you're not holding hands with us, Sam, I reach out to grab your hand as we're entering the mirror.
And as it gets yanked through, he just points back at Mr. Witch. Made you look.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. Sam is the last one, like, you know, giving them shit, and then this giant arm comes back and drags you through the mirror. You find yourselves in this strange void for a moment, walking through these odd sort of reflections around you. You realize that it's sort of like this weird silvery mist. And after a moment, it begins to clear, and you step out from it. And you find yourselves standing at the edge of some sort of stone causeway that overlooks a huge swamp surrounding you with mists concealing different areas of it. And at the end of the causeway, it just falls away as if this bridge broke over time. And you can see ahead of you, about maybe a quarter mile or so, the causeway picked back up. Like this broken section is like before you, where and beyond you can see the bridge continues, but it's just like a quarter mile away, and it vanishes into fog and mists in the distance. The causeway itself, it's built from some sort of pale stones. They all seem to kind of glow faintly from within. And like I said, you're towering over the landscape. When you look down at the swamp below you, you see that it spreads out in all directions. And you can smell like this scent of rotting plants and refuse that's coming up and meeting your senses. It's not overwhelming, but it's pretty strong. You've seen places like this before, like around Glen Hollow, where like little pools have kind of collected and gone stagnant, and it's worse than that. It's like not quite like pig muck bad, but it's pretty bad. And you can also hear around you this sort of discordant symphony of the sounds of the swamp: frogs croaking, birds singing and cawing in the distance. What do you do?
First thing I'm going to do is hold up a stone and cast light.
All right.
So
it is sort of
better.
You can see maybe a little bit better with that just around you. It seems as if you have arrived, and you look up for like, a sun or a moon or anything, and you see none of that. Just sort of like this hazy twilight sky above you. It seems as if you are just after sunset, where there's still enough light to see, but it's a little bit dim.
I look behind us. Is there anything where we came from?
You see the mists that you kind of came from receding behind you and just spilling off the side of the causeway, and then it continues back a few hundred feet before vanishing into some more mists.
Oh,
Are the 4 cardinal directions the same in the Feywild?
You could say that they basically are, but there's no way to really tell. There's no sun or moon or stars to sort of give you those directions. It's a bit disorienting in this place. There's a couple other things you can kind of see in the distance as you look around. Off to your right, you see maybe a couple miles away some sort of tower that's sticking up out of the swamp, and it's at this sort of weird sort of. It's not at the right angle. It's not straight up. It's about, I don't know, like maybe 75 degrees canted at an angle. You can just sort of barely make it out in the swamps. Beyond that, you see this sort of large hill, and then beyond that, other hills that sort of create like almost a range at the end of your sight, and they're covered with like these mists that obscure sight beyond them. To your left, you see the swamp continue to hills that then form up into mountains, and these mountains just vanish up into clouds like higher than you can see. Straight ahead, the causeway, like I said, it's broken, but there's another one that continues and disappears off into mists way beyond your sight, maybe like 6-7 miles away. And I think this is a good spot to hold off until next week. You've arrived in the Feywild.
We're in the Feywild.
This is maybe not what you expected. Everything you always heard about the Feywild is that these enchanted forests and mystical places, fairy rings. Maybe not a giant stinky swamp, but that is where you are.
All right.
That's super exciting.
I
also get to make a new overlay because we're not at the carnival anymore.
Yeah, you're not at the carnival anymore.
Gotta crank up the bog.
Yeah, crank up bog. Think of like Bog of Eternal Stench. That's what you're in right now.
No, bad.
No, bad. We just watched that a couple weeks ago. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh, so good.
I didn't realize like how much they'd sort of overdone this. The Bog of Eternal Stench is almost a little bit overdone. Like perfect for like, 12-year-old humor, but like as an adult, you're like, okay, that's maybe about 20 fart noises too many.
Well, when I saw it, I was 12, I think.
I think I might have been that age
12
too.
or 13 when I saw it. My sister introduced me to it. She was like, "You're weird. You'll like this." And she was right.
It's still a great movie. It's a lot of fun to watch. Very good sort of prepping yourselves for like if that's a movie you want to watch for what's happening here. Labyrinth is a great one to sort of put you in like the mood and the scene. Especially like for now, just watch the Bog of Eternal Stench. That's good, I tell you.
That's a good point. Ashton, also, you have not seen, oh God, what's it called? It's like Mr. Blank and Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I could not get into the book, which is weird because I'm actually
get into the book either, actually.
But the miniseries I think was decent. So
I watched it too. I loved it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a great series of strange and sort of wondrous like magic.
Yeah, I just love scary fairies. I'm such a scary fairies.
Yeah.
Well, you've come to the right place, I suspect.
I know when I heard we were doing the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, I was like,
yes, there's all sorts of scary stuff that you're going to find here, and crazy and wonderful things too. It's going to be now that you're beyond the carnival, now that you're in the Feywild, it's going to be a bit of a different game now.
Let's get weird.
Yeah, it's going to get weird.
Let's roll some dice.
Yes.
Other than D20s and healing dice.
Saving throws. Thorn almost got to attack something.
So close. Mere moments from an actual attack roll.
there were spells thrown.
There were some spells,
special abilities.
Sophia cast every spell she had.
Yep. Every single one. Even that new spell slot that I got. I was just like, nope, gotta burn it right now.
That Twilight ability, Banishing Our Fear, was awesome. Like
that was amazing.
Playing that right then.
That was
beautiful. It was beautiful timing. But also, if I do it, I can choose to give people 1d6 plus 2 temporary hit points.
Whoa.
Anyone around me. Either or. It's either or. So
that is
the 1d6 plus 2 seems like nothing compared to the other ability.
Yeah.
Removing charm and fear. Wow.
Removing all charm and fear effects.
Remove charm and fear or have 5 hit points.
Not both. It's like one or the other.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
What I
you can
think
do
like,
that. Can you do that once or twice per day?
it's once.
That's your
Once per
channel
short
divinity, right?
Inquiring DMs want to know.
rest.
What's the range on that again? How far out does it go? Is it just charm and fear?
Notes, planning for murder later. Cool.
Like, crap, I have a bunch of stuff to rewrite.
Yeah, but it only lasts for 1 minute. So it lasts for 1 minute or until I'm incapacitated or I die.
1 minute, which is about twice as long as most fights last in
Oh,
D&D.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So like
yeah,
the temporary
edition
hit
is
points
fast.
thing could be helpful if people are getting rocked a bit. But yeah, the ending the effect of charmed or frightened is pretty good.
That's
amazing.
It's really good.
And the fact that it just ends it on the spot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then prevents it too. Like,
Yeah,
well,
both.
there you go. The enchantress just throws up her hands. Is like, all right, surrender.
That's
Trick. You all win.
Out of stuff.
Well, it doesn't actually clearly say that it lingers, but it does say it lasts for a minute and it ends the effect, causing a creature to be charmed or frightened. So I don't know that it protects it from happening again if the creature is outside of the sphere.
Huh.
If they stay inside the sphere, I don't imagine a charm or fear ability would work. But if they step out of it, I think there's
making more
susceptibility.
notes here.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Also, Chad, I really appreciated you reacting to Thorn healing. That was very cool.
Yeah.
I
There's a lot of
mean,
good things here.
this is yes, we're definitely in D&D, and we know we're in a magical world, but like we're all new at this,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you know, recognizing each other, seeing each other do things for the first time. He's like, where did that come from? Like, what?
That's cool.
Yeah, I think people should lean into that more in D&D. You know, when there's a level up or something, you see like your friend or your sibling or something do something amazing, you should call it out. You know,
Well, or something happening to them as well. I mean, also just reacting to like getting hurt or being afraid of something that you've never encountered before. Playing that stuff up, especially at low levels. It's very easy to be like, I'm afraid of nothing, and just charge in. But like, never been in a fight before, so there's always a first, and it ain't always easy.
One thing I'm really enjoying about this, basically 2-month-long role-playing scene we've had, is it really sets the stage for establishing the supposed reality of this alternate world. So it makes sense for us to react in very human ways to things that happen, rather than just being these sort of like, you know, bland heroes who charge in afraid of nothing or whatever.
I have never been so invested in my mission before. I'm like, I gotta find my other mother. I gotta find my best friend's life.
I gotta find my rock.
Like, he's got a rock he lost.
You're gonna get to the end of this whole thing, and you're like, "My rock, it's it. It's all I wanted."
Taking this back. I'm taking it all back.
As the Feywild burns behind you, you claim your rock.
We walk away slowly.
Yeah. It's gonna be like the watch from Pulp Fiction.
Right. My father had this rock up his ass for 2 years.
in the Feywild.
You find the rock and you're just like, Mom, you can stay. I've got the rock. I'm going home.
What I came here for.
Mavra, you good? All right. Catch you later.
Well, that was super fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So I was thinking after we did the Blades in the Dark one-shot last weekend, we should do another one next month. Do you guys want to do another one-shot sometime coming up soon?
I'd love to do another Blades in the Dark one shot. Now that I understand that system, I want to explore it a little more.
Yeah.
I also like.
I would like to jump in on that as well.
Yes, please be a part of this very weird gang we created. Yes.
You gotta make a weird gang member. We don't have like a true mystic like person. So
No, we don't.
but you can make anything in that. Everybody's
You can make
basically a
anything,
variation of
yeah.
a theme in a way.
Do you need an occultist?
We do.
Oh man, be so creepy.
The
I
closest
think
thing
I
we
can
have,
fill that role for you.
the closest thing we have to an occultist is my character, who has like some ability with spirits and attunement.
Yeah,
but he's the
just like a
fighter in
little-
the group, so he's not really good at it. He can just talk to ghosts occasionally. He's like a grown-up version of the kid from the Sixth Sense or something.
Oh, this will be so much fun.
And-
Wait, are you doing Nosferatu?
Ooh.
No, Sferatu. No, I'm not. I've actually never seen Nosferatu. I've never actually seen it, but I was just kind of going,
Yeah, Willem Dafoe's character, that's what he's doing. The script girl. I'll eat her later.
Which is also
Willem
like the
Willem Dafoe does Nosferatu, and what?
he did
Yeah, and
they
what?
did sort of it was a not really a remake, but it was sort of like a parody remake of the original Nosferatu, wasn't it?
It was
And,
like a parody spoof of the making of
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
it was like sort of
What?
an Ed Wood version of like Nosferatu.
And it's
It came out like 10 years ago, and William Dafoe
No, it's
plays
like
the Nosferatu
20
character.
20 years
Was it
ago.
20 years ago?
Maybe 15.
Everything's 10 years ago to me.
It's like
The 80s was 10 years
Shadow
ago.
of the Vampire is the name of the movie. Check it out.
Shadow of the Vampire. Okay, I have got to watch that. I actually really liked Nosferatu, the silent film, and then I watched the remake that was in the 70s that was German because I'm a nerd. So watching a parody of the making of it would be amazing.
Especially
great.
with William Dafoe. William Dafoe makes everything better.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, thanks, guys. Thanks for running,
Yeah.
Rob.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you, sir. Thank you,
for joining
everybody,
us, everybody.
us.
Yeah, everybody, thank you for coming. We'll be here again next week to now they're in the Feywild. Story changes
Yeah.
a bit.
Same
Yeah.
Fey time, same Fey channel.
Yeah.
Which is,
Oh.
we don't know. No one knows.
No one knows. True. One
Time
last
doesn't exist there.
minor announcement is theoretically this session should cause us to hit affiliate on Twitch. We have hit the number of followers, we've hit the number of average viewers, we've hit the number of hours, and this one marks 7 within a 30-day period. So
Yes!
We did it.
we did it.
We're affiliated.
Theoretically, we'll see if it actually comes
Theoretically.
through.
And you all helped.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
send you a
maybe they'll
message
just look at
saying
it and
there's
be like-
one other thing you're supposed to do. that you
Yeah,
forgot."
you're too random. Like you're not famous already. No.
Well,
No.
and thanks to
Well-
you guys who've been coming and watching. We really appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah. And thank you
Yes,
again to
thanks,
Margaret
everybody.
Houlihan.
Oh.
Wonderful mod.
Wait, we have a great suggestion. From speaking of Margaret Houlihan, should we go raid some random D&D stream? Are you guys up for 5 or 10 more minutes?
Lloyd.
So how does that work? I've
Yeah,
never
could you
done it.
tell me
before.
how that works?
I've never actually done a
Yeah.
raid before.
I think that just means that we go and log into another one and say, "Hey, we were just doing Misfit table."
Yeah, so it's like
that,
when
right?
people, it's like a one whole stream goes bloop
The whole
and
stream
shifts himself
pops over.
entirely into somebody else's stream.
But I mean, our stream doesn't go there. Like, does
No.
it?
No, just
No, it's
us.
just us
Just
as
all of the
people.
users in chat, from what I understand.
Okay.
You know
Unless-
what? Let's plan on doing that next time. For 2 reasons. I can figure out how to do it. And 2, it is sort of getting late and many of us have bedtimes.
It's true.
Yeah, we'll plan to do it. Yeah, it's now a little bit
Yeah.
later for me. Let's and I don't even know how to do it. I'm curious. Like, I don't even know what we're doing. when
I'll
we go
look
there.
into it. I'll figure out how to do it.
And let's
then we
think of
can-
a stream we want to go to that we want to send some like patronage over to. I think
Mhm.
that is such a great suggestion.
And
Yeah.
if you guys, listeners, watchers, have any ideas, please feel free to hit us up.
Please.
Social
Yeah.
media.
Maybe there's
wherever.
another Blades in the Dark stream that's going on around this time.
Well, I do know there's another Wild Beyond the Witchlight stream going on Tuesday evenings, and it's actually really cool. Like, I hate to play up our competition, but it's actually pretty neat. We
It's
could
not
raid
a
that.
competition. I don't know. I don't feel like we're competing with folks. We're just doing our thing. They're doing their thing.
They're doing their thing. Yeah, different stories. They've been going a bit longer than we have, I think, haven't they?
They're, I think, a bit farther in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers though.
Yeah, maybe we don't want to go
maybe
there.
We should
Yeah, no
not.
spoilers.
We should
that's
not
a
go
good
there.
point.
I think they're a lot
I-
farther in than we are.
I think another Blades in
Yeah.
the Dark campaign, if
We'll
we
see
can
what I
find
can
one on
find.
Tuesdays, that would be
We'll discuss it and we'll get back to you. We'll let
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll put it there.
Also, for the
Circle
folks that
back,
are watching,
as they
if
say.
you have fun ideas for weird D&D products, that you'd like to maybe see an advertisement for, just let us know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hit us up in the chat.
Chad
Yeah.
and Brandon will write a thing.
One of us will. One of us will. And then we'll perform it.
And
Or
then
the other
we'll
will perform it. I have no
I think
idea.
we need to do one where you both perform. It goes back and forth.
We have one in the works.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't say anything more.
We're not saying anything else. There are
Anyway.
cahoots afoot.
And with that. Yeah.
Well, let's respect bedtimes. Thank you, everyone, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Like, subscribe.